Hello everyone and welcome back to another Patreon exclusive video. I am just making some samples actually for a new project, which is I'm doing one of these challenges off Mad Labs. I was just trying to find some inspiration, and it's essentially making a track in the style of like Octamed, so only using 4 tracks and maybe a few send effects. So in order to give myself the best chance of coming up with something fairly decent, I'm just preparing some samples and trying to come up with some ideas, messing around with synths. And so I thought this would be a good point to show you how I make a lot of my samples. And the real key to this workflow, which I know I bang on about, but I'm using resampling all the time. So I record stuff in Twisted Wave and then I edit it in there and basically collect lots of samples, doing live effects and messing with parameters live and just recording it out. Yeah, so even though it's all panned out to the right, in this audio editor, I can just select this side and chop it to like a new kind of window and then have it in mono and normalize it. So that one's probably my favorite. That one's cool. And so I've essentially been making loads of effects. You can see I've got nearly 20 phasey effects like this now that I've gone through just various patches and kind of just browsing presets and then messing with the frequency and phase mistress. So definitely abusing plugins, and I'm not doing any hacks or any weird stuff here, but generally this phase mistress, you would think you would kind of set the modulation and have it automating on an instrument or something, whereas actually messing with the frequency live and cranking up the resonance, you can get some really interesting effects from it. So maybe just using plugins in ways that they were not originally intended for or not common uses for them. Anyway, so I do lots of that stuff, just messing with plugins, recording out and trying to find the best takes, really, messing with all the parameters. And that's more for effects and things like that. And then the other thing I do is just build little ideas like atmospheric beds or pads with different layers in them and things like that. And so this is a good example where I've got this, I think I'm just on another patch in Triton here. Yeah, this art patch. If I take this off, I think I just play something maybe like this. So it's just a mallet playing a tone. I'm playing an interval there. So I actually played it lower. And then once I have that, I'll start to layer on top. And this is one of my favorite things to do in Logic, is actually this quick sampler is just a pure sine wave with nothing in it. And by pulling out some of the release and then adding a tau chorus and ram, which is my favorite reverb, you get this really lovely dreamy sine. So it's nothing more than a pure sine wave. I haven't added any distortion or anything. You can actually, in quick sample, if you turn the filter on, add all these harmonics to the sine as well. So it's a really good technique actually. So I have this basic idea going now. And I'm just going to add a few more things, I think. That last note was not quite right, but the rest of it's okay. So maybe in this one I add a bit of and maybe some wobbling, potentially just to the volume. So this is cool. It could have a texture sample. It's something I quite like to put in things like this. And actually in this pack, I think I had some textures. Wind and waves is good. The next thing I love to do before maybe adding even more synths and things like that layers is actually output is so good for this kind of stuff, and I pay a subscription, so I've got to make sure I get my money's worth. And in output, I just go and I'll go mixing key, find out whatever key. I think I'm in E flat minor, so I can go E flat minor key, D sharp, E flat minor, okay, cool. And then in here, I kind of ignore all this stuff, and aura is really good, and also horizon maybe? Have I missed it? Aura, and where's the other one? And distant voices. Aura and distant voices are great. And I feel there might be one other one, but maybe we'll go aura for now. And this ancient history one is always kind of delivers. Like that, okay. And I usually just bounce these out because arcade is quite CPU intensive, and I quite like just committing to the ideas and moving on with different. I like that. Oh, did it want to go on longer? Maybe, maybe not. This second bit and have it come there. I think this doesn't want this delay. Also, this mallet. Get rid of that potentially. This version, I think I might shimmer it. This is cool. What I want that is that sound to ring out. And maybe with a delay, I could use that crystallizer. Nice, okay. Cool. I want it to go like. So this selection here of notes, I wonder if I just copy them and turn on glide. Might be a simple thing to do. Maybe just that one note. It has done what I wanted. I just wanted it to like a bit of movement. It's not bad. These sound weird. Too far out. Okay, so nearly looping around nicely. So what I would do here is kind of quite a crucial step for me. Sometimes I'll do bus processing, but usually just record it out. see my right side is maybe a little bit quieter. So I can maybe make this one a bit more even by raising it a dB. And to put a fade at the end. Nice, so the ending's not quite right actually, maybe more like this. And what I will then do almost always is go into my Emu, and something about just resampling into the Emu, especially when you do the 12 semitone pitch up and down trick, makes such a big difference with a sample like this. So I will drag it in and I come into my Emu and I go, oh no, I don't want to go edit, I want to go manage sample, new sample, and make this maybe 26, but it's going to be quick. And then come to my keyboard and play it a semitone up, an octave up even. So that's coming in super high, and arm it. Cool, in. Stop. Keep it. And then I can go to edit and select the sample here. And then I can actually just tune it back down 12. And then when I go and press enter, or addition even, yeah, so it's quite subtle what it's doing, but for me, it maybe glues the sound together a little bit. It definitely makes it sound a little less robotic. Part of that's just removing the high frequencies, which you'll do when you reduce a sample rate like this, but it does something. There's a little bit of magic in those devices. And yeah, I'm very lucky. Thanks to my patrons, actually, thanks to all of you for being able to have these in my studio. And especially for this is kind of the main thing I do with my Akai and Emu, is just resample sounds through. Just for ease of use, and then I've got them back in the door and I can do what I want with them. One more cool trick I quickly want to show you is actually when you play these pads, sometimes you can play them polyphonically, and really if you just use octaves and fifths. So here if I go from a low A and I play the A up an octave as well, I get a really nice you know, the two notes, they're all playing at different speeds because you're pitching them up and down, so you get some really interesting things happening. And if you play this with different rhythms, every now and again you'll get a really good result where the notes are bouncing back and forth against each other really well. So quite often I'll then record that back out, or I'll be doing this in a sequencer. It's not quite, the ending goes a bit weird. Maybe I can trim this one up as well. I doesn't want that last note, does it? Yeah, cool. And then if I drag this one back in again, so that's super cool down there. I would even come and do stuff like run this through Crystalliser again and just go full circle with the whole thing. Oh, that's nearly great. Yeah, it finishes a bit weirdly and it's maybe a little bit too distorted coming out of there, but I think so that's really my process, and it's a lot of experimentation. It's how I come up with all these sounds, but I hope this has been informative and useful for you guys. and I will be back with lots more Patreon and YouTube content coming soon. So I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.